than Kenya's government originally said. First, officials said 10 to 15 attackers were at the Westgate Mall. Top Kenyan government officials says informant carrying automatic weapons received closed-circuit television footage of last month's terrorist attack which killed 67 people. On Wall Street at last check, stocks are lower. Stock market's falling as a partial shutdown of U.S. government continues. Dow is down 72 points at 15,120. Nasdaq is down 38.10. You're listening to Here and Now.
Funding for Here and Now comes from
Brzezinski. Two different types of storytelling are the focus of today's community calendar. The Rose State Live series presents the Moth main stage this evening. Best of tellers from the Moth radio
phone to qualify on the United Healthcare or the healthcare.gov website, and it is
take it into the bigger picture. Actually, as clients, I saw doctors, I saw police, I saw lawyers, judges. So again, you're very kind of typical professionals, from service providers to legislators.
15% of the government is shut down. And if we don't raise the debt limit, we will pay our debts first and be okay. Is that correct?
Well, no, it's not correct, because, if you pay your debts first, and you won't be okay, because you'll have a 3.5% of GDP cut in government spending. When you cut spending by that much, guess what? You get a major recession.
And
heart was beating 100 miles a minute while everyone worked hard to make us look magnificent. As I look back to that scene today.
How you doing?
Fine, how can we help?
I have an Achilles tendon on my right leg that's driving me up the wall, and I've been to the doctor.
to sort of take the sting out of the whole thing.
I mean, you addressed this. I turned it to 2 pages that I particularly admire, where you write, and the illustrations are just wonderful, because you've got a sequence of kids scratching their heads.
And the mission to kill Osama bin Laden. And I'm really curious, tactically, what has changed in the last 20 years about special operations? What are the big dramatic things that you've noticed?
Well, our special operations forces are much better today. Our ability to gather intelligence, to find...
I'll make it feel right, baby. Can't promise tomorrow, but I promise tonight.
Got to be involved, and that's what's scaring me. So how democracy hailed as this wonderful form of government. I'm afraid you're breaking up on us a bit. John Kingsdale, can you comment on that?
Well, it's be an easy excuse, I think, for folks, and I include myself in that category, who are very supportive of the Affordable Care Act, but there's no evidence at this point, and in fact, if you look...
Subject of debate now, and in particular, since the late 1980s, there has been a new notion...
Yesterday, other professional associates... They actually talk to you? Yes, once in a while. And so the one was in, like... It's
clearly marked, lady.
And so they asked me what...
You know how long I've been on ya. These breakers on Apollonia. Since OJ had isotoners. Don't act like I never told ya.
Great problems that we're seeing that really is reflected in climate change, and also in a book that I've been reading by Andrew Bacevich called Breach of Trust. Because the question now is whether or not we have now become far too dislocated from the ethos, from the values, and from the sacrifice of our military. The fact is that, as Andrew Basovich writes in this really fascinating...
But no more than that. Attorney Harold Gurewitz says when prosecutors tie Kilpatrick to Detroit's bankruptcy filing, it's a cheap shot. He contends they ignore the good his client did while in office, like rebuilding parks and recreation areas.
I have concern that there be appropriate weight given to every aspect of his life. I think that the picture has been skewed.
Some legal experts agree that
$1 a week. And we all know there are a lot of great shows in there that you love. That's why our twice annual membership drives are so important. Of course, we like to have a little fun, but the aim is very serious. The sound recording, the excellent conversations.
Community information, the great music, all of it needs listener support. Private support is 63% of our budget this year. Please do your part. Thanks. From the manager's desk, I'm Karen Hope. It's all things considered from NPR News. I'm Robert C. And I'm off the block. We have Trombone Shorty. This new album puts in New Orleans and on all kinds of musical influences. Just wanted to make a long story short. Just put as much music as I can in a compact situation. Trombone Shorty, after the news. From NPR News in Washington, I'm Jamie McIntyre. House Republicans led by Speaker John Boehner have left a meeting with President Obama at the White House without talking to reporters camped outside. Boehner had offered a 6-week extension of the government's borrowing authority, but only if the president agreed to new negotiations on spending cuts. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid met with the president earlier in a separate meeting and did talk to reporters afterwards. We are here. Is that what should be open? Now, we should be able to carry that. And as we've said, and we'll continue to say, if that happens, we'll negotiate anything. And the president can come back to that. But Reid insists there can be no negotiations so long as the partial government shutdown continues. The stock market closed today when the hopes were high that a compromise might be in the works, and that pushed stock prices sharply higher today. NPR Kim's early reports all the major stock indices finished up at least 2%.
The stock market has been slowly working its way downhill ever since the government shutdown began a week and a half ago. But news of a possible end to the stalemate seemed to cheer investors, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average finished.
We hope so. I noticed that thus far only the House has actually passed that bill, but we are very, very hopeful that we will get back pay.
Right, and that paycheck that should be coming tomorrow, can you give us a sense of about how much that will be and how much that can tidy?
What about the people who see the scarf as demeaning to women, somehow subjugating or hiding them?
Oh, indeed, that there is a prevalent view, and
she must drop my money.
I don't know how they're going to have you back. You missed that one. You got to go see that one. Yeah, I love it.
John, it's great to be here in the kitchen with you. So what are your key three?
One is a creamy vegetable soup, a creamy any vegetable soup, and just to know the basics of how to do this without using a lot of cream. Is I'm taking just a little chilled farmstead butter and I'm rubbing it in a relatively liberal manner around this small cast iron pan.
And the pan is probably
cool or room temperature in this hot kitchen.
Right.
Then you're adding flavors that distract us from the creaminess of the white and the yolk itself.
Do the eggs toughen when they cook that way?
I think they do. And watch this. It starts to bubble ever so slightly, and that's really not what I'm talking about.
The whites are getting solid. They're turning opaque.
And so you have the opaque whites. I'm just going to move this to as low a heat as possible. And I'm going to take a little bit of sea salt.
information